These evil cute moths are giant silk moths. They are part of the family Saturnids. The Automeris Io moth, which I painted last week in my vlog, is also a part of the Saturnids, as is the Tassor silk moth, which is part of the illustration that I didn't do last week, which I will put in the description box below a link to that vlog. So there are over 2,300 species of moths in the Saturnids, and many of them are the largest moths on Earth. This Tassor silk moth, I finished yesterday the illustration with watercolor and colored pencil like I showed in the Automeris Io moth illustration. In this vlog, I'm going to show you how I make a natural history art print out of the illustrations that I made on the watercolor paper. One thing I like to do is make a little bit of a shadow around the illustration, the moths, or if it's butterflies or beetles or whatever. I like to make a little bit of a 70% gray to a lighter, maybe 30% gray shadow, just because it makes them look almost like they're pinned onto the paper. It makes them look a little more realistic at any angle. You also want to start with a really good reference photo. This is the caterpillar of the Automeris Io, and they are in many different colors around the world. That's a marbled moth, and this is its caterpillar. And those are comet luna moths, and these are the eggs of the Automeris I. And the caterpillar that comes out is prickly and greenish, and this is the Automeris Io moth. And this is a natural history art print by Thomas Peale. It's from 1853. Some of them are very artistic. This is the peacock moth, and this is Van Gogh's peacock moth in one of his paintings, and this is Maria Sibylla Marion's peacock moth illustration. This is the caterpillar for the Hercules moth, and this is the size that the Hercules moth gets. This is another illustration that shows you how artistic some of the older prints were. I'm just going to do the regular kind of 2 moths on a piece of print paper. I'm going to get rid of the watercolor texture using the computer. So what you want to do first is get a really good photo, and even if it's a good photo and you have good lighting, the watercolor paper will be textured, it will be shadowy. So what you want to do is get rid of the background by masking out the illustration portion, and then deleting the background and making a new layer that is the color of background, whether it's white or cream or light gray, that you want your illustrations on. Both Photoshop and GIMP will help you delete the background by masking, but Photoshop's probably better at it. GIMP is not exactly the best program. So with the background removed, I add a white layer underneath the illustration layers. I also like to add an overlay layer in white, and then I turn the opacity of the overlay to about 25-28%. Most natural history art prints have at least some information about the illustration, the species name, or the part of the world that the species is in. So I'm going to write the Tassor Saturnid, and the Automeris Io. So you can tell which is which by looking at the illustration. And I guess that's what they're about. Many of them that are more artistic have the plant that they're found on, maybe the caterpillar, the pupa, things like that. And so it's nice to add a little bit of the information. And a lot of them are handwritten, but I like using a font. I scale the image according to the photograph. I have my camera set at 300 dpi, 4200 pixels, and I like to print out at a couple different sizes. One is 11 by 17, and So I put 2 of my illustrations, I took the pictures separate of my moths and made them so it's an 11 by 17 inch file and 300 dpi. But you want to scale the image so that you can print it at a quality setting. If you're going to use it on the web, you want it to be 72 dpi, and for Etsy, in the shop windows, they like it to be at least 1500 pixels on the shortest side. So you want to make sure that little lock is connected when you change the shortest side to 1550 or something like that, and then it will just put in the right number for the longer side, and you can change it to 72 or 96 dots per inch in the scale image area. So I saved 2, one for Etsy and one for my prints at 300 dpi. So that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I put out new content every Tuesday and every Friday. As always, thank you for watching. Thanks to Wikipedia Commons for many of the moth photos. Attributions are in the description.